did you all create the SEL, or has that already existed?
So the SEL didn't exist. There was
Okay.
actually something in the past called, I think it was the SEI, which was the Southeastern Esports Invitational. Almost positive that was the acronym they used, and it was a one-time thing. It was supposed to be basically what the SEL is. That didn't really work out. Seemingly, some of the people that did it graduated. I'm not too sure. Maybe something else went down, or truthfully, when you're starting these esports league, the money is an issue. I mean, every single person I talk to that does these leagues, because my goal is to not to segment the South. You know, I wanna keep us all together, make sure that anybody who wants to do this can be on my team and help us out. You know, we brought in people from other sports conferences that were trying to do something similar to what we did for the SEC. But I'm like, hey guys, by the way, we already have the schools that you want. We will let you just come in here, no questions asked, work with us. Let's make something cool happen.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge thing for me, because in the past, the Southeast was super kind of like anti-working together almost. And so it just kept failing. And so that's what we saw at the SEI, was people graduated and no one wanted to take it over because there was no one. And so it could have been something so cool. And I'm glad, and I'm not glad that it didn't work out. I'm glad because now we have our thing, and we wouldn't have it without them not working out. But at the same time, they did a really good job. The one event they hosted was pretty awesome. And I truthfully think it's probably just because graduated, not enough time, not enough money. It just didn't work out. It was easier just to let it be a good thing and rest than let it die on its own.
Yeah.
And so we're pretty grateful for those kind of backbones to build off of. And really and truly, there just wasn't anything else. And so that's where the SEL was born. Is we kept doing these tournaments. People were like, they'd always ask us, are you going to do something for this? Are you going to do something for this? Are you going to have a league? And we'd be like, well, aren't there leagues for y'all to play in? They'd be like, yeah, but they're all leagues that are run by, you know, there's a league called the NECC. It's up in the Northeast. There's a lot of good esports schools up there. And truthfully, they don't have any in-person events. A lot of those schools will go compete in person because they're close. Our schools can't drive, 12 hours to go just play one game, and then that's an hour long, and then drive back. Just not feasible. And they really want to play against teams that are down here because, how cool would it be for Oklahoma to play Alabama? And conversations like that is where the SEL was birthed, was let's make something where you see these matchups and actually get to watch them happen.
So did you spend a lot of time, I guess, reaching out to some of these prior contacts to say, hey, we're going to try and get this going again? And you're kind of also then trying to figure out how to keep it to a short list of the schools that, somewhat modeling the SEC, I would imagine, right? I mean, it sounds like there may be an outlier, maybe a school in Texas or something like that. But that's essentially what you were trying to do, is just recruit in a way, right?
Yeah, at the beginning we kind of really stuck to Alabama, not really by choice, but more or less that's just who we knew.
Yeah.
And so we'd grow that slowly but surely, and there was plenty of schools to have a good competition, but I couldn't rest there. I was like, no, we got to do this big. And so I wish I would have sent it to you. I have a little map. I can pull it up in a second if you need me to, but it's a map of basically just the bottom right of the country. It goes all the way over to Texas, goes up to the Virginia area and stuff like that.
Okay.
And kind of meets in the middle over here up by Oklahoma.
Okay.
And so that's our range. It's basically, if you looked at the Big 12, SEC, CUSA, AAC, ACC.
ACC, yeah.
I think there's two of them. They mix me up all the time. But it's a lot of those conferences that we basically, any school that was a member of all those conferences is now going to be a part of Season 4.
Okay.
And so at the beginning, yes, the SEC was our goal, and then we just chose schools that were in the area. This coming season, we've actually been able to bring on staff. We brought up a great esports kind of director for our league, which was what I did, but I need to focus on growing the league, and so I have to somehow part with my baby just a little bit and let someone else take the reins, which I'm very bad at. I'm like,
I know what you
oh,
mean.
I can do it all, I promise. But then I'm like, oh man, this is getting rough.